So yeah, that brought us to pretty much like September. Start of September now. I've got the car situation solved at least till December, and I'm into my last 4 months in Buenos Aires. So September, October, November, December. Because I was gonna leave in January, the start of it, to begin my trip home. So last 4 months, like pretty much keeping that same routine. Some exceptions to that were I went to this game, like it's Argentina's national sport. They love football, like soccer. I mean, they love soccer. It's like their favorite thing. But their actual national sport, I think it's their national sport. It's called pato, which they do on horseback. It's like a team game, and like they have this ball that's got hooks on it. So the players are on their horse. They pick up this ball. They have to like on their horse like ride down the field. The other guys have to try to rip the ball away, and they have to throw it in this net. And it's this crazy game. It's become this like very rich person thing. But it started off with like the gauchos, like the cowboys in the provincia, like in the open landscapes of Buenos Aires. And rumor is, and why it's called pato, is because pato is duck, like the animal, a duck. And rumor is, but apparently it's true. And there's a picture here by an artist in Argentina with the name Molina. I can't remember the other name, but Molina. I'll put up a screen of the actual name. But it's an awesome. I love the artist. I love the style. But this picture here is like the old school pato with the gauchos, and you can see it's an actual duck. So what they used for the ball used to be a duck. You used to take the neck and either like tie it around one of the legs or something like that, and they'd use that as the grip to like carry down the field. So that's why it's called pato. So that was interesting. And then other things I did was the World Youth Olympics were in Buenos Aires in 2018 in the fall, like in October. So I went up to the track. They built I said they built two tracks. They had the track that I checked out way back in the day when I got home from Carmen's wedding. They built another track in the city, which is actually pretty cool. And then for the Youth Olympics, they built a track sort of outside the city. It's in the city, but it's kind of in the ghetto. That's where they put the Olympic Village because they have a lot of land there that's not super dense and it's cheaper. So I went to that track and I watched, saw some crazy fast Ethiopian kids running. It was really cool. The other event I wanted to see with the Youth Olympics was the speed skating, but on rollers because it's summer Olympics, right? Summer Youth Olympics. So out in Parque de los Niños, they had built this like awesome oval course for the speed skaters. So I went and watched that. That was awesome. Super hot that day, super sunny. And then like a couple months later, I was rollerblading out at Parque de los Niños. And I'm like, wow, man, that track is still there. But there's like a giant wall around that track, that rollerblading, speed skating track. And I was like, well, I'm going to go see if I can get in there because I really wanted to skate on it. I wanted to feel what that surface felt like. So I go over, with my blades on, and like jump the fence, get in and do a lap. And I've got a video of that actually, you can see right here. A video of me skating around there. But then sure enough, after one lap, the security was like, hey, get out. And so I was like, okay. So they didn't arrest me or anything, but I got out. So I got an awesome lap around that Youth Olympic speed skating track there. And then one other thing I did was one of our secretaries, Ceci, she's an opera singer, and she was doing like an Italian opera. And she invited us to come, and so there was like a Sunday or something, I didn't have much going on, so I was like, yeah, I'll definitely go check this out. So I go to this Italian opera, and like, I don't understand Italian at all. Fortunately, they had Spanish subtitles, so I could kind of follow it with that. But that was pretty otherworldly. And like, in terms of that, like, more extreme than that, there was a girl I was dating at one point, she's a drama teacher, and she took me to these, like, Buenos Aires has the highest density of theaters, I think, in the world, and one of them, like so many like live theater venues where they actually do like drama performances. It's like a major thing in the city, and so she's a drama teacher, so she would take me to some of these very small venues where there would be like maybe a 5 or 6 person cast that would do a drama presentation. And of course they're using all the slang and like very fast dialogue, and like that was really difficult for me to follow. But so like in terms of that, like I don't feel like in Buenos Aires I was like totally full on in the expat bubble. Like I feel at an expat world, like, foreigners or English speakers, because of the teachers, I hung out with them a fair bit. But my house was not in an expat neighborhood. I didn't live close to school. I lived in like a true working class Buenos Aires neighborhood. And so my experience there was totally like Porteño or Argentinian. And a lot of times like going on dates with these girls who like are totally Porteño, like don't speak English or something like that. And going to a lot of the concerts, they're not like really necessarily gringo concerts at all. They're like definitely Argentinian people going to these concerts. And just my explorations, like my map making of trying to get a sense of the place, right? Like wandering everywhere, like neighborhoods that are definitely not expat by any stretch of the imagination. Neighborhoods that actually a lot of Argentinian people wouldn't wander into. So yeah, man, it was, I wouldn't say I was like caught in the expat bubble. And you know, like a lot of times, what was coolest was actually going on a date or going out to meet a girl who lived outside of Buenos Aires in the suburbs, because those areas tend to be like much further removed from our experience here in North America. Like it doesn't have that like big city like buildings, infrastructure to it. It's kind of like small town, countryside mode. And so going out there was always really cool if I went on a date or went out to hang out with a girl out there, because it was such like a totally different experience. So yeah, that was like super cool as well. And like so I went out to a bunch of different places like Chascomús and Zárate, like I mentioned, but a bunch of other ones. Maybe I'll put a little map up here for you, like I'm gonna show you all the different little neighborhoods I went to in Buenos Aires or the Conurbano or whatever, blah blah blah. A little visual for you. But another place I went to as well that was one of those places was a place called Monte Grande, because Otis, who's my Spanish class, the Jamaican dude, was like, he lent me a book, a Spanish book, because it was the first Spanish book he ever read. It helped him learn Spanish. He lent it to me. He's like, you got to read this, but you have to give it back to me if you ever leave Buenos Aires. So I was leaving Buenos Aires, so I was like, I'll go to Monte Grande, I'll give Otis his book. And that was super cool going out there. But Otis was always like, because he lived in Monte Grande, he was basically like married or living with an Argentinian woman, and that community has nothing to do with the expat world. It's like full on like suburbs, outside country mode. Not country, but like nothing to do with the big city. Like it's connected geographically, but it's not like high rises and things like that. So he's all like, yeah, man, you're living in the expat bubble. That's why you're not learning Spanish faster. But I actually don't think he was learning Spanish any faster than I was. And I'm not the best at learning Spanish, but whatever. It's something to be debated later. So I went out to see him. That was super cool. So he said I was in the expat bubble, but then like one of the other teachers in the previous year, Rob, we hung out, we went to a music concert one night, and he was like, dude, like you're totally not living in the expat bubble at all. Like I hadn't even said anything about the expat bubble. He's just like, it's so cool to hang out with you because you don't do anything the other expats do. You go to concerts that none of them know about, like blah blah blah. So I mean, you can debate on that all day. Was I in the expat bubble? Was I not? One bubble I know I was in was like the spaceman bubble. Like I can tell you that. Just like exploring, like what is this? What is that? Like map making in my mind, understanding where I was, trying to get a sense of what is Buenos Aires, what are the limits, how does this fit, what's the spirit of it, as I mentioned in the other video, like exploration mode, right? And like because I was doing so much exploring, you know, sometimes my students who were Argentinian or Porteños, or the girls that I was dating or whatever, they'd say to me, man, you know Buenos Aires better than I do. You know places I don't even know. And like, geographically, okay, yeah, I know a lot of terrain that they don't know because they never go there. They've got their like little circuit that they do, and they don't want to go to the poor neighborhoods. They don't want to go off to the countryside. It's not of interest to them. So yeah, maybe geographically I do, but like I'm not Porteño, and like I never ever like got the Porteño brain at all. Like no, I don't think like them. I don't look at the world like them. I don't have the same values as them. I can't say I have the same values as when I left, but I definitely never got to like Porteño mind, you know what I mean? So like when I say I understand the Argentinian psyche, it's like, yeah, I understand it. I don't have it. I definitely don't have it, but I understand it. I can see the differences, like generalized differences in the way they think and their value system, what's important to them, as contrasted with what's important to me, my value system, and what I'm thinking about, and what I feel like we think about up here. So I can make that kind of contrast, and I feel like I did understand the Argentinian psyche, even though I didn't inhabit that space. So I guess in the next video I'm going to try to explain to you what the Argentinian psyche is from my perspective, along with a bunch of other mumbo jumbo, and that video is going to be really long, and like I feel like apologizing to you for that already, but I'll probably get there in the other video because it's going to be fairly generalized and a lot of stereotypes. But anyway, we'll get there. So that's last 4 months in Buenos Aires. We'll do the sit back down in your chair. We'll do the psyche video, which will be long, complicated, really like stupid, and then I'll do like the closing video before I hit the road into Brazil. Okay.